morning, Faith. Happy Friday. Okay, so we have been doing a lot of camping activities, whether you've been in school and at home with some fun things. So I am going to read Pete the Cat Goes Camping. So all the Pete the Cat books are by James Dean, and he writes the stories and he draws the pictures too. So he's the author and illustrator. Remember those big words? So Pete the Cat Goes Camping. Pete is excited to go camping. This is his first time. Don't forget your sleeping bag, says Dad, or your hiking boots, Mom says. The campsite is deep in the woods. Mom and Dad set up the tent. Pete and Bob help collect sticks so they can make a fire later. Ooh, let's infer. Who's Bob? Who do you think Bob is? What can we infer here? They didn't tell us who exactly Bob was. Yeah, maybe Bob's a friend. Could be. Maybe Bob, I don't know. Is Bob a brother or a sister? A brother? I don't know. But maybe he's a friend who came camping with them. Pete and Bob go for a hike. Bob shows Pete the footprints of different animals. Their hiking boots look huge. Do you think we will see anything cool? Asked Pete. Maybe, says Bob. Pete and his dad go fishing. They must be very quiet and very still to catch a fish. Why do you think, I don't know if anyone has ever been fishing before. Why do you have to be quiet and still? Yeah, if some of you are thinking you might scare the fish away, right? Exactly. So you're trying to catch a fish. You can't catch them if they're scared and swimming away from you. Fishing takes a long time. They finally catch some fish. Mom builds a fire. She cooks the fish for dinner. It tastes yummy. Some of you might have built a fire yesterday in your campfires. Next, Pete toasts marshmallows. Pete makes s'mores with chocolate and graham crackers. It starts to get dark out. Bob tells Pete a story about a scary, hairy giant. Oh boy. The giant lives in the woods. His name is Bigfoot. Do you think Bigfoot lives here? Asked Pete. I don't know if you can tell by his eyes, but I'm kind of inferring right now, kind of thinking Pete the cat might be feeling a little scared, a little nervous, kind of asking that question. His eyes almost look like, oh my goodness, right? Do you think Bigfoot lives here? No one has ever seen Bigfoot, says Bob. Don't let Bob scare you, says Dad. Bigfoot is not real, Mom says. Pete sighs with relief. Do you know what sighs with relief means? Some of you might be like, no. You ever go, phew, or like, phew, right? It's like almost like a sound effect, almost a noise that you might make when you're like, whew, you're relieved, right? That something is okay. But if he is real, I bet he's friendly, says Dad, and likes s'mores too. That's not scary, thinks Pete. Maybe he wants a s'more. Pete leaves one for his hairy friend. Soon it's time for bed. Lights out, boys, Dad says. Do you see what the dad's doing right there? What do you think he's doing in that picture? Yeah, I think that's supposed to be water, and it's maybe putting out the campfire, right? You don't want to leave the campfire burning all night. Bob and Pete share a tent. Pete gets into his sleeping bag. It is cozy, but he cannot sleep. Okay, now the author, James Dean, he's not telling us exactly why Pete the cat can't sleep. What do you infer? Why do you think Pete the cat can't sleep right now? I think he's a little scared, right? He's feeling almost too scared that he's more scared than tired, if that makes sense. So his mind, he's kind of thinking like, oh boy, is there Bigfoot out there? Ooh, I don't know, right? You ever been kind of scared of something? You're kind of you're a little nervous. It feels like you're almost more awake. The woods seem extra dark, and all the sounds seem extra loud at night. Woo, woo. Pete hears a weird swooshing sound. What is that? He asks Bob. That's just the wind, says Bob. Bob is like one eye open. I'm kind of thinking he's like, oh, it's just the wind. Go back to sleep, right? Like he's kind of like half asleep talking to Pete, but Pete is not. I don't think he's gonna be able to sleep. Pete hears an odd chirping noise. What is that? He asks out loud. Those are just the crickets. Pete hears a strange hooting sound. Woo, woo. What is that, he wonders. That's just an owl. Pete thinks of his friend Al. Okay, just an owl, nothing scary. Pete hears a loud snapping sound. Crack! What is that, he wonders. But Bob is already fast asleep. So now Pete's really wide awake and really scared, but Bob's already asleep. Bob's not too scared. He's like, it's fine, everything's fine. I can go to sleep. It's not working for Pete. Pete listens carefully. Crack! Is it Bigfoot? Pete peeks outside. It is too dark to see anything. When Pete wakes up, he checks the spot where he left the s'more for Bigfoot. The s'more is gone. Oh, there's the note. There is a note. It says, thanks for the treat, XOXO. Do you see that big footprint? I don't know if the author's telling us exactly who wrote that, but what do you infer? What are you thinking here? Thinking it was Bigfoot. Pete shows his family. Wow, I knew Bigfoot was real, says Bob. Now, it says shows his family. Wonder if Bob is a brother. Pete knows Bigfoot is not scary. Just because he looks different does not mean he is scary. He even likes s'mores too and was polite. He said thank you. Well, I think that's the end. The end. There's our campfire, right? No Bigfoots. No Bigfoots in the classroom or at home. But hey, if we're having s'mores, if you're having some s'mores, watch out. Bigfoot might like them. Okay, I hope you like this story. Have a great weekend. Bye.